In a previous video, I modeled this sort of cartoon mop, and I'm going to continue with this little theme I got going here for Blender Challenge, everyday objects. And I'm going to create a pail with some water in it that the mop would go into. Right, very simple, very cartoony. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to bring in a cylinder. I'm going to use 16 vertices, and then bring that up and over, and I'm going to scale it a little bit until it looks like it's roughly the right size that I would need. I might scale that down a bit, we'll see. Let's just start with that. I'm going to scale this out and delete that top face. Alright, so this is what I've got. Alright, I'm going to Shift Alt and click that edge. E and S, come out just a little bit. And I'm going to extrude down, just like that. Let's focus just on the pail with the slash key and come in and Shift Alt and click that edge and Control B to bevel it. Pull it up like this, and I'll give it one more. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. I'm going to check my polys, and you'll see that some of them are a bit weird, but I'm going to extrude this now. I'm going to look underneath here, if I can. I'm going to press E and Alt S, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to pull and give it a little bit of thickness like this. And that's probably okay right there. Alright, deselect and Shift Alt and click that edge and that edge, and I'm going to bevel it, Control B, pull, and I want to have the two and one more. And I'm going to come underneath here, Shift Alt and click that edge and that edge, and carefully I'm going to bevel there. Alright, now I'm going to need more edge loops. I'll go ahead and Control 2 though for 2 subdivisions. And let's see where I'm going to need more edge loops. It's looking pretty good actually. And the only thing is it looks a little tight for my liking. But I think I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so we've got a bit of a pail now. Alright, I'm going to select it all, Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm going to come in now and select one of these circles to make the handle. Shift D and pull it up. P to break it out. And take that. And I'm going to just get rid of the subdivision for now. Let's go into edit mode and box select all of these top vertices there. All those, that half there. So I have this. So the handle would go down around there. I'll put something there. Alright, look from the top. I'm going to take, let's say, actually, I think I'll scale this in the Y a little bit. Like that. Pull these back. And I'm going to take these 3 vertices and I'm going to scale Y0 to flatten them out. And I'm going to put a little handle there, something there. But first I'm going to bevel these again, Shift Control B and pull and do this kind of a thing. So I have a flat area there and it kind of bends in a strange kind of a way. Alright, to get it to join, we're going to select these 2 side vertices. I'll look from the top again, and E and SX, just pull it in a ways. It'll start poking through, but that's okay. And now I'm going to bevel that and that because I don't want that sharp corner there. Shift Control B again, pull, and 3 vertices is probably enough, just like that. Alright, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to convert that into a curve. Convert to curve and come to the curve dialog box under geometry and bevel. I'll hold Shift and start pulling that up and make something like this. Shade smooth. I'm going to Control 2 for now. Let's see how I like that. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll make that part right here. We can get rid of that vertex. We don't need that vertex actually. Shift D, P to break it out, and select that, and now increase the size of that one. So I have that. I'll go ahead right away and make that into a mesh. I'm going to scroll up, change the resolution to 3, so when I do convert to mesh, it's not too dense. Go into edit mode and Shift Alt to click F. Shift Alt to click F. And then in face selection, I'll grab these faces and Control B, pull, do something like that. And we are okay. I just have to move this a little bit into place. So I've got that piece. So now let's come up here. I'd like to have a piece here as well. So I'm going to select those two. Let's see how straight that is. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And do a similar thing. I'm going to Shift D and P to break it out. Take that piece and increase the size of that like this. And I'll go ahead and convert that to a mesh. So make the resolution 3, right click, convert to mesh, and come in, Shift Alt and click there, and Control B, do that. And I'll probably move this a little bit anyhow. Let's start with that. All right, now I want to put a little piece there. I just want to have another look at this. I'm going to turn off the subdivision. And what I'm going to do is maybe get rid of that middle one, that middle edge. Let's try dissolve edges and see if it's a little bit smoother and if I like that. And I think I like that. I don't think I need the other one. In fact, I might take this one, GG. Let's try edge slide. See if it relaxes a bit. It's not overly noticeable, really. Let's let me see. Yeah, I think I like that better. I may even come in on this one now. And that's just a little bit too tight, especially for a cartoony thing. Yeah, okay, I think I like that a bit better. Anyhow, back to this. I'm going to come in here. Maybe I'll straighten that. I'm going to bring my 3D cursor right there. And then I'm going to bring in just a cube and scale it down. And make a really simple connection. Select this face and pull it in. Just like that. And I might take this edge and pull it in and do something a little bit more in line with not that one, with the profile. I'm going to take this now and scale Shift X. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and this and this and this. Look from the side, and we're going to GZ. We're going to pull it up a little bit more underneath there. Okay, and then finally I'll take that piece and let's get rid of this back face and take the whole thing and just slide it out a little bit so it doesn't go through. And this piece here, okay, I'm going to bevel this. I'll use the bevel modifier. I'll start with 0.01 and then I will just hold Shift and just keep pulling to the left. So I just have the slightest bevel on there. I'm going to shade smooth, and for shading issues, I'll put on weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth. But we better do this. The whole pail needs to be flipped, so recalculate outside. All right, not overly visible, but all right, let's select the pail and bring the 3D cursor there, and then take this and set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror it to the other side. Okay, so we've got that. So let's have a look at how this would turn. What I'll do is I'm going to select the curve and come in. I have that point selected. I'm going to select the very last point there, Shift S, cursor is selected, and then switch over to 3D cursor. So my pivot is right in the middle. Look from the side, and I've got the handle and that piece there. All right, I'm going to press R to rotate, And that's probably the position I'm going to have it in there. Right, we can come up and we can come down. And that's how that's going to work. So let's go back to median point. Now we're going to create the ripple effect. Now again, this is very cartoonish, so it's going to look it as well. And that's what I'm going for. Grab a circle, Shift D, pull it up, P to break it out, and we'll have this. And then we'll create the ripples with this. Okay, we'll go into edit mode, E and S, and I'm going to pull in pretty close to the center, something like that. And then I'm going to press E and M, merge at center. So I have that. Out here, I'm going to roll my mouse up with Control R, and I get a bunch of stuff like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and apply this subdivision on here, this 2 subdivision, Control A, and now I have this. All right, now to create the ripples, modifier, down to the wave modifier. Over here, we're going to set the fall off to 0, height 0.28, 0.18, and we'll try 3. And you can start to see the ripples. Now if I hold Shift and play with the height, you can exaggerate this, and I think I will. I'm going to shade smooth, and this is the effect I'm going to get. Let's take that, scale it down a bit, and let's move it in to the bucket and find a position that we like. Maybe I will come in here, and let's have a look at this here. I think I will, let's Control plus, and let's use Loop Tool Circle on that, Control plus, and then let's get rid of, no, let's just Shift Alt click. No, we can't do that. So let's use Paint Select and come around here and make this into a nice circle. And then there'll be less sort of weird stretching on there. So just grab all of these vertices there and use loop tools to convert that into a circle. But I think I'm going to get rid of that and Shift Alt click here and F to make a face. And we'll have it like that, and that's going to look just fine. You would never have noticed the other anyhow. Now that is a little bit high poly, and that's just the way it is on this. So I've got a lot of subdivisions on here anyhow. Okay, so we got that. Now we'll have a little stick in here, and then we'll work on the, I don't know why, just so that, you know, to test sort of the transparency. So we'll do that, and then we'll work on the materials. Let's scale this in the Z. And what I'll do is I'll take that, I'll scale it out just a little bit, Control B, pull it back quite far, and then roll my mouse up to get a nice round part there. Let me just focus on that. I'll do Shift H, focus on that. We'll get rid of the bottom face and shade smooth. And then let's bring, let's go Alt H actually, bring everything back. And let's take this, and I'll look from the front, and I'm just going to rotate this and bring it down as if it's sort of just floating in there. We'll have a look at that. Okay, let's look at our size so far. Let's take all of these pieces and let's move those into a collection. We'll call that Pail. So we can scale this whole thing down a little bit, bring it down, and it'll rest something like that. All right, it's time for materials for this. We'll focus just on the Pail for now. I'm going to call this Pail. And I'm going to add a gradient texture right there. And Control T, use the object coordinate. And I'm going to Shift Control click on that, and you'll see that it's cut right down the middle. Under rotation here, let's change this to 90, and now it's the bottom. Let's add a color ramp. slide these up and down. And one of these colors we're going to make a dark kind of red. And one of them we're going to make a lighter red color. But I'm going to slide this up, and that will sort of simulate the water level. I'm going to Shift Alt and click the principled and drag that into the principled. Let's start with that and let's move on now. Press the slash key. We'll do the water in a minute. Actually, let's do the wood. We can do that really quickly. We're going to use this wood, so I'm going to select that piece and that one. Control L and link materials. And now we'll have the wood on there as well. Okay, let's do the easy stuff. And I may adjust that in just a minute. Let's come back to here and we'll create a new material. And I'm going to call this black. And this one's going to simply be dark color and reduce the roughness. All right, it's plastic. That piece there will have the black on it. This will have the Pail material on it. And this handle will have this metal. So Control L, link materials. And of course I made those materials in a previous video. I'm going to slide the X up here a little bit. And I'm going to bring the level to about there. And then I'm going to come in here and take this, put on the move, doing some editing in the shader editor. Bring it down so it looks like you start seeing the line there. So I'm just going to match up the line so it sort of gives the impression that it's filled with water. And this sort of almost kind of mimics the subsurf. So I don't think I need to mess with the subsurf here. So okay. I'm going to make a new material. We're going to call this water. And I'm going to change the color. I'll just grab that color for now. I will do subsurface on this a little bit. So I'll make that a slightly darker blue. And I'm going to make this 0.6. We'll see how noticeable it becomes, if at all. And I'm going to add some nodes here. All right. This is very simple, very cartoony. So I'm going to add a mix shader here. And I'm going to add transparent here. Just like this. And I'm going to add an input layer weight here. Take facing and put it in. I will leave it at 0.5 for the moment. All right, now continuing, I'm going to bring up the metallic to about 0.6. Bring down the roughness quite a bit. So you start to see this is the effect that I'm going to go for. Over here, I need to make sure I've got screen space reflections on. I'm going to put on refraction, turn off half res. And down here, I'm going to switch the blend mode to alpha blend. I'll put on screen space refraction as well. And you can see the piece of wood going through there. And this looks like plastic, as if this is a toy with fake water. And that's the effect that I'm actually going for. All right, you can even see down to the bottom and maybe even the polka dots, but never look down that far. So I don't know why that stick is there, but it just so you can see something inside there. All right, so obviously this scene needs a orange or yellow sponge. So we'll do that next time.